Hi YouTube artist, I'm Kelly Hernig and welcome to In the Studio. Today I'm going to be sharing my November favorites. I cannot wait to share them with you. Let's go paint. For my November favorites, it is all about the Kuretake Gansai Tambi Art Nouveau set. Now you know when I swatched this, if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it below, I fell in love with it and my admiration for it has continued. I'm doing a dedicated sketchbook to it, and so I thought it was only fair that it has the November favorites, and it is all 10 colors. Here are my items that I'm going to use. I've got a little set of little leaves. I've got a glass bottle with a star in it. Can you see the star? I just want the star. I'm not doing the glass bottle, but the star I really like because I've been dreaming a lot for what 2024 is going to be bringing. I have these adorable salt and pepper shakers. They're magnetized. See the little magnets on the side? But it's her that I really want to do, and I want to put golden hair on her instead of black. Now, if you're not on my newsletter, get on my newsletter. Whenever I find cool finds like this, I usually do a photograph and a great vignette. And I share nature, inspiration, my new classes, and of course my YouTube videos. That link is below too. So I've got her, I've got the star, and then I've got colors. So these are the colors that I chose. And so let's talk about design a little bit. These are really kind of odd shaped things. I mean, I have this tiny star. I have this that is very bold. Now with gold hair, she will not be as bold because the black really makes her have a statement. And then I have this really kind of on its way out leaf in like a dark brown. And you can see they're almost the same color there. So how are we gonna fool around with these colors? How are we gonna make this cohesive where it has a nice flow? Because they're all muted colors here, except for this vermilion, which is quite bright. But you can see that they all play well together. We have a little bit of a conundrum on our hands. So let's move all this aside. The colors, I'm just putting down in front of me here on the bottom. And I have this leaf. First, I want to look at the past months. So September had big things on both ends. October had a big thing here and one on the inside. So then that brings me to November. I'm trying not to do the same thing because I'm pushing my design skills as well. So let's start moving them around on the page here. Remember for this one, it's just the star. And then I've got my leaf. It's kind of nice. The star kind of pulls this up, especially with the direction going upward. Watch what happens if I turn this downward. See what happened? It kind of pulls you off the page. I could have it like this, where you might go up the string and then back around, which is nice. Again, I'm going to turn it other way. And you can see you would go up the string and then out of the page. So always be aware of if it's curving or if you're pointing something. Think of an arrow or a sharp edge, you know, like even a corner like this. If you have it like that, it could look like an arrow instead of straight. And then we have her. So she's kind of stuck over here by herself. So let's see, can we move this? And look what that did. So if I go up the string here, I kind of curve around with this branch and it leads me back to her, which means if I put the color things here, it will lead back to the star. So let's just add a couple there. So we go up the string to the leaves, it kind of curves down, see it curving to her, and then we're leading it back. But what happens is now we have all of this void. And if I was to stick colors over here, it's going to change the dramaticness of it. Unless we start here and we go all the way over, but see now there's no leaf to kind of pull your eye. So we would have to probably put it here. So let's get this one out of the way. Let's see if this works. So we start with her, we go around, just the star, And then it does pull your eye back around, but there's an awful lot of space, and I have 4 colors left. So I could do something like this to kind of sidestep us back down into her if I wanted. So let's try that again now. We've got her going across, up over, and then these kind of take you down back to her. And that's great because it gives you the whole design. You're looking at everything. I want to switch these 2 around. Got my needle eraser so it doesn't fall over. Now let's look at it differently. So now we just have a little star. So there's really nothing. What are you looking at first? To me, I'm looking at her black hair. But I'm most intrigued by the curve of that. So if we start with her, we go up the colors here and then go up this way, and it does lead you back, but the star is not strong enough to kind of tug you back this way. At least I don't feel in this essence. So what else can we do? Let's try the leaf on this page. So we've got this leading to her. Now I skip the colors completely and I go straight up here. See how it kind of makes a triangle now? So let's do this. Let's turn it the opposite way and just see what's going to happen. Now if we start here, this pulls you to this page. So this now pulls you to this page. I'm going to do that separately. Watch again. See how it's just like if you start here, you go here, and it does pull you a little bit that way, but not as, I think, effective as this one, because you can pull up or else you can go over. And either way, it's leading your eye kind of in a circle, and that's kind of what you want. And I do have the word November favorites, so I could put them over here. I could put it here. Remember, it's just the star, it's not the bottle. Okay, let's play with colors and see if we can get it in this arrangement now. I like how the yellows kind of group together because of the yellow up there. And then that leaves us with a little bit brighter colors. And I think that's what I need over here to kind of pull your eye around and back up. So I'm going to keep Vermilion, maybe these 2 down here, because what that is going to do is pull you. So if you go from here down here, it's going to pull you forward because of the brightness. So we've got 2 pale pinks. Let's try something like that. So I'm losing the pinks, and this has all the different colors. See that? Every color is different, where these are 2 pinks and 3 yellows. So I don't like that. So pinks, I think, have to go over here. I want to keep these strong pieces here. These 2 are like the odd people. So let's put them over here and see what happens. And let's play around with these 3. Can we put them here? So now I have a big void up here. Let's check our design though. So if this is pulling your eye downward, or actually it pulls my eye upward because of the dark colors here. So I go up and I go kind of over. You could, if I put something right here, it would pull your eye in. And when I got her, I thought of butterflies. So what I have here is just several die cuts in different shapes of butterflies. And I have just a pack of these so that I can play around with sizes. So let's try this. Now look what it did. It points you this way, but we kind of have him flying in the wrong direction. The curve is nice because we follow the wings down. Let's see this. You can see now it's flying towards her. So it makes you look at her instead. Let's try a smaller one. It's not as distractive going that way, but it still does kind of lean you that way. So let's do it this way. And you can see it kind of brings you around to her. I'm not real happy with these colors, so I think I want to go one higher here. Let's move that one there so that we have a step up to the dark and then it goes real pale, and I like that. So now let's put a butterfly. Let's put one here and let's look at our design. So it goes up to the butterfly. See that this leads to the butterfly. Turn it that way, and then it kind of leads you back down to her and you carry right on over. So that's a great design. It kind of makes you go full circle, but it still feels very empty here. Now I could move this here if I wanted to, but I've kind of wanted mine in the corner, especially because remember this is just the star, so that leads a little bit over here. Let's bring this big butterfly back. I want to tuck it down closer to her. Now what happens is you go this way, to that, to that, to that, and then back over. Or else you go this way and you just kind of linger here for a little bit, which is okay too because there's a lot happening here, and then it goes to her. And I think this is the design that I'm going to do because I really like the flow of it and I like the color arrangement. I like that the yellows, the boring yellows are here. You know, they're just a light, little darker and a little darker, and then these two oddball colors are there. The brightest is here, which I like, and probably the deepest is here. And then we've got the palest up here, but yet this is going to play a part in dragging your eye around. But notice you're looking at the butterfly, this, instead of going pale pink. So that's something to think about with design, is getting your flow. And it's about moving your eye around. At least for me, that's what design and composition means, is letting you see the whole design in an interesting and curious way. I want to start with the butterflies, and because I have the blue and purple here, I thought it would be nice to put the blue and purple on my butterflies here. This is Old Mauve. It was the color I was most intrigued with in this set. Gonna splash. And the blue I'm using is grayish blue, which is the one next to it. This blue I really like because of all the gray that's added into it. It's a nice muted tone. I don't really like blue as a color, but this blue I like because of the tone of it. I know, I hear you. Why? You don't like blue? You can see I got really carried away with my water here. While this is still wet, I'm going to drop some more color in there because as you can see, I put so much water in there, it's going to all the edges and nothing's inside. And it's too pretty of a color to not have color in there. Okay, I want to get this leaf done. And for these leaves here, I'm going to use, so this is ecru beige, beige gray, and yellow brown. The leaves are actually really close to this yellow brown, you can see. But I want to have a nice variety of color there. I might do the tip of it a little lighter and then get darker here. Remember, I want it to pull your eye around. So I'm going to start with the ecru beige. I've got my lines on pretty heavy up here, so I need to erase those. And you can see how pale it is. It would not pull your eye at this level of paint because it's too light. I have to make sure that I get some of that dark. But for these underleaves, I'm gonna add some of this brightness. I do like this color a lot. Okay, while it's wet, I'm gonna go into the yellow brown. You see now it's making your eye go up there a little better. Don't have to add a lot, but every little bit helps. Okay, I'm going to put a little music on while I paint those. Okay, I want to work on the girl next. And for her, I do like the outfit being this kind of off-white, but I don't know that she's going to show up. And I am going to make her flower the vermilion because I like the brightness of it there. So I want to try her with the light hair first, which is the ecru beige. And I might have to go darker. We'll see. Putting it on as a mass tone, so it's not very watery at all. If you haven't worked with the Kuretake Art Nouveau, they are very creamy. They're almost luxurious. They feel like velvet going on. It's just such a nice smooth texture. Okay, I'm going to try some beige gray. Not sure if I'm going to like it or not, so let me see what this is going to do here. Okay, that'll be a nice shading color. So I'm going to leave her majority white, but the edges I'm going to leave darker. And actually, I've got kind of a cool shape in there, so maybe I'll do that two tones like this. And then I do want this edge to have a tiny bit of this beige gray. I'm going to go just a little bit darker on this edge and the bottom. Got a little bit here that went over the edge. So I'm gonna just wet it and lift up my paper towel. There we go. The hair's already dry. I don't think I'll get anything there. I'm letting the water sit for a minute. I'm going to blot, see if I can get anything. There we go. Okay, that needs to dry. So what I'm going to do is just fill some squares. These are 1 1/4 inch squares. And I just made a little template so that I can easily trace them out. Okay, the first color is going to be that purple, the old mauve. And I definitely want to splash these while they're wet. So please remind me, scream at me. The only downfall that I see of these paints is they don't come in tubes. And I don't know if you can buy individual ones or not. I haven't looked at that for restocking. That looks very nice. Look at next to the leaf here. So it's pushing you upward. I love that. The next color is what I did the little butterfly in, which is grayish blue. If you know of a color like this out of any of the brands, please let me know, because it's definitely one I would purchase just to have a tube of it. These are the 3 yellows. The reason I haven't done my star yet is I don't know what color to do that yet. I'm going to start with Ecru Beige, which is my lightest yellow here. That's what I did the lady's hair with, and some of the forward leaves, the ones at the top of the page. Then it's beige gray. This is my second color, favorite color of the set. My favorite prism color was sandbar brown, and that's what this color reminds me of. The third color here that was done on the leaves is yellow brown. This one has like a yellow ochre color in it. Very pretty, or a raw sienna color. And I was on a quest for the perfect raw sienna this year, and this one's really a nice one. even though it's called yellow-brown. Okay, I'm going to go back to the girl now, and let's add her vermilion flower. This is why I kept the vermilion next to her, because I want the color to be on the same page. It's so intense. At least it's intense for this group of colors. Let's put it like that. Because there are much more intense colors. I want to do her face in pale pink. I'm going to drop a splash of water right in the very center. I need a bigger one. Hopefully it will kind of spread out a little bit. The star here, this star, I'm going to do in coral pink, which is just a little bit darker than the pale. It's a beautiful color, and I think it will look nice here. It'll tie the pinks together with this spread. Oh yeah, look what the flower did here. Do you see that it's left the center? That looks nice. Okay, let's work on the colors over here now. The top one is pale pink. The one under it here is coral pink. This is a color I would really love in the tube. I really like this color. It reminds me of the inside of a watermelon. Just the tone of it. It's a very opaque color, which is probably why I like it. This color here is going to be Venetian red. Now the Venetian red in this set is more on a brown tone than a real red, but it's very pretty. Kind of reminds me of red brown from Magello. The bottom two here, this one is Mars yellow and this one is vermilion. At first I really didn't like this color. It reminds me of Aussie Red Gold and Daniel Smith, but it kind of grows on you, especially when it's dry. I don't like it in the wet stage. It's a little too orange, but it dries lovely. I heard you. Thanks for the reminder to splash. While those are drying, let's go back to the girl. She has a little red line under here, and you can see she's got some red spots. I kind of like that. It's to go along with the flower here. And I'm going to do that with the Venetian. I'm going to use the yellow brown to do the line work. Gotta make sure her dress is dry. Yes. I'm going to touch a little bit of that Mars yellow into this at the tip. That's good. I switched to my more pointy brush. Varying the pressure. It's such a simple but beautiful design. I love that. This flower has some leaves around it. I'm going to see what the yellow and blue mix, see if they make a green. I'm not real sure. So I'm going to be mixing this, which is the ecru beige, and this, which is the grayish blue. And let's see what happens. Maybe I can make a green. It's a little bit. These are really too watery. I'm going to see if I can get those up. I'm going to wet around them, see if I can lift out the outlines. I like the Mars in there, but I didn't like all that water. Okay, I'm going to let that dry a little bit. For her eyes, I'm going to pick up the blue, the grayish blue. Gonna make her have coral lips, maybe a little bit of coral and vermilion, just to make them tie together. Okay, you can see the purple here. I'm gonna add a little bit more purple in that, the old mauve. I had to dry it so that I could get to her little dress here. Much better. I'm going to touch a little bit of the bright ecru beige in the center of the flower here, just to lighten it a little bit. Probably won't even see it on camera. There we go. I've got it all labeled and I added my November favorites. What I'm using for the writing is the Unipin fine liner. This is the dark gray and the bottom is the light gray. I really like those pens. They're my favorite for using in watercolor. I just like the gray tone. It's not as harsh as black for me. And I'm going to go over the colors and then I will bring you up closer. They're all Kuretake, the Art Nouveau set, Old Mauve, Grayish Blue, Ecru Beige, Beige Gray, Yellow Brown, Mars Yellow, Vermilion, Venetian Red, Coral Pink, and Pale Pink. I really like the way this turned out. I like that the blue and purple is here and then again here. I think it really makes it kind of flow really nice. And actually, if you look, the star and that just kind of takes you through the design because it goes on an upswing and that looks really nice. You can also curve it on over. It's however you want to make it work. That's what it does. Let me bring you closer so you can see all the lovely texture. I'm going to start with the star down here. And this is where I wrote Kuretake Art Nouveau. Here's my leaves. Here's this adorable girl. Here are these colors. That purple butterfly gave me a bit of trouble with all the water that I put on it, but it finally looks nice. I'm really happy with the way that looks. And there are my November favorites. If you want to let me know in the comments below which was your favorite color, I would love to hear that. And as always, if you were inspired by today's video, please like, comment, or subscribe. It will help my channel grow, and I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.